Name, age, occupation.
Name, age, occupation on paper. My name is. I'm sorry. Should I look at you? Or
You
the
can,
camera?
whatever you're more comfortable with.
Oh, okay. On paper, my name is Timothy Spicer Jr. When I'm in schools, higher education institutions, I go by Tim Spicer. And when I'm in the streets, they call me Spice.
What type of spice are you?
Picante, just super hot. However the mood acquires, you know what I'm
Mm.
saying? I'm 30 years old and I train high school students how to apply to college, and I train college students how to survive college.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
how
yeah.
did you find your way into that?
Maybe about 10 years ago, I went to this workshop and they said, "Tim, you're a leader." I said, "Whatever." And believe it or not, I was, and they made me like really tap into my influence and my whole narrative as a young black male. And since then, every summer I've been dedicating at least a month to just dedicate to training the next rising class of seniors on how to apply to college.
Is that something you've always wanted to do?
I don't know. I thought
Yeah.
I wanted to be an actor. I knew I wasn't going to do sports, but I knew I could leverage my voice. So the leadership elements and inspiring others came natural. So I just stuck with it.
I'm just going to put the mic a little bit lower for you.
Sure.
Just make it the most comfortable you can be. All right. That's
Thanks.
perfect.
Thanks, Mike and Ike.
Of course. So then let's talk about, the exact work that you're doing. Are you talking like prepare your college essay,
Sorry.
or are you talking like, just trying to get through the day? Like what's the exact stuff that you're trying to educate here?
I'm talking all elements of what the college application entails. So I take them through a gold mining process where I figure out what is valuable in their story and basically determine what we need to tell colleges to get you in, to stand out. Your academic rigor, what do your transcripts look like? Which schools should you apply to? Can you even afford to go to that school? Is this a safe school? Does this school have your major? How to apply for FAFSA, a big thing in the States. Everybody can't afford college, but what's the financial aid process so that you and your family can actually make it? And then on the higher ed side, it's really about the day to day. It's not that college students suck at college, they suck at life and college at the same time. So that adjustment period and being able to guide them on, you know, what it means to be a success to them and for their family. And then just a lot of the time just proving to them that college isn't going to make you better than your family. It's going to make you better for your family.
So how did that play into the application process? Are you saying like same shit, different day? Now I'm the one that's making the applications, going through the entire gold digging process, as you said.
Yeah, I mean, the application it dives into it because one, the applications are changing. I think with the birth of the pandemic, sometimes you didn't need a test score. Sometimes you didn't need these qualifiers, if you will. But one thing they haven't eliminated is this essay. Colleges still want to know who you are as an individual, so it's kind of the same, but we're focusing more on the individual and what they need to really distinguish themselves from the other thousand of applicants.
So what made you decide it's my turn to fill out an application? I'm here to play Survivor. How did that end up? What's the trail of events that led you in front of me today?
So, Mike, I was just in an interesting place professionally and personally where I wanted this new challenge. Really, since I started having kids, I started really dreaming even bigger. I have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old,
Yeah.
Carter and Cooper. And when they came, I was like, I need a challenge. So I started running. And then after I started running, I said, I need another challenge. I did a triathlon. And then me and my wife were watching Survivor. I'm like, babe, I can do that. She's like, yeah, whatever. And I said, you know what? That's another challenge. So I get into the video. I get into looking how to apply for Survivor. And one thing led to another. This is my first time applying.
Wow.
First time on the show. It's been an exhilarating year, honestly. I think
Yeah.
I submitted a video in May
Wow.
of last year. So and it just turned me on. I love a good challenge. I love a good push, and it goes back to the work. You're teaching students how to survive. That's one thing to do it in the world, but if I can come out here and survive on my own, then I'm actually putting the talk with the walk.
What's been your history with watching Survivor? You were a recent convert. Did you watch from the beginning?
Beginning like season 1.
Yeah.
Well, it was on in the house a little bit, but as a child, I wasn't really too interested. But as I got older, I think the cutthroatness, the challenges, the swimming. I've been a swimmer all my life, so
Really?
yeah, the swimming definitely. I'm like, bro, I can. These people can't swim. I can swim for real, and so that's really been exciting to me. And then, of course, as I got older with a family now, $1 million is definitely appealing to any dad.
So give me, from your history with Survivor, give me one winner and one non-winner that you feel like you identify with the most.
One winner. Let's go with the non-winner first.
Sounds good.
The non-winner, I don't remember her last name. I'm going to go with Drea or Diane.
Mm-hmm.
Diane played this, like, sneaky low game, and, like, people kind of weren't even, aware, but she was always strategizing in her internally. Drea was just really, I think her name was Drea, but she was really...
What season was she from?
41.
Okay.
41. She was really... straightforward, and she was stoic. You couldn't like read it. She was a personal trainer, but I loved her whole aura on the game. It was serious, but she was still able to open up. The winners I identify with, Jeremy and Wendell. Wendell and I went to the same alma mater, Morehouse College.
Oh, really?
So that was definitely inspiring to get out here and kind of follow his path because he's a winner. And then Jeremy, being the family man and being strategic, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was taking big risks. He was the first person I seen swap his reward challenge, for somebody else. And I'm like, wow, I never thought of that. That's definitely, that could make a difference in your gameplay. So those are the players I really enjoyed watching.
What's your favorite moment in the history of Survivor?
That's a good one. Favorite moment. It's not like, it's probably my favorite learning moment. It's when Jesse tells Gabler too much. He tells Gabler too much, and Gabler uses it as an like, this is insight, and he's like, no, we got to take out this whole Jesse Cody thing. That was probably my favorite. And then lastly, Tony, the way Tony just moved around the camp like a psychomaniac. Like, I want to be that relentless and find as many. I want to find more idols than Tony. So that was definitely.
That's a lofty goal, man.
Yeah. You got to push yourself. And I want to be invited back for season 50. I got an idea that I got a feeling that it'll be big. So
yeah. So let's talk about life experience.
Okay.
Give me one experience from your life that you feel has prepared you most for what you're about to get into.
One. At Morehouse, I pledged Kappa Alpha Psi Pi chapter, and pledging, as we would call it, is a microcosm of life. Everything that you experience in this process, you'll experience in life, and that's exactly what happened. You were on nobody's time but theirs.
Yeah.
You were accountable for those around you, your brothers, and so that really just. When I heard a lot of the things that I'd be up against out here, I'm like, that sounds like pledging. It is what it is.
I feel you. I'm a fraternity brother myself.
Let's go.
I feel you. I mean, listen, you're not getting like, having to eat disgusting crap or like get shot by airsoft guns. But at the same time, like, there is that idea of like, if one falls, you all fall, and that feels so tribal.
Yeah, exactly. And so that excited me. I'm not gonna have my phone. I'm gonna have to be locked in, and you have to give 100% dedication when it comes to any pledging process. And so that was like the big prep that got me like comfortable with coming out here.
I'd love to hear about your process for grad school, because I saw you wrote in your bio that you were working in a nonprofit.
Yeah.
You like drove by the school, right? Sorry. And you're like, one day. What made you decide to finally act upon that one day and apply?
So at the nonprofit, I'm still there now. It'll be 8 years in July. I'm leaving DC, the rush out of DC to get to, I lived in Virginia at the time. And I'm passing GW, and I'm like, bro, it's no way that God has put in this institution in front of me. I'm telling everybody to go to school, and I didn't even want to get my master's. I didn't want to get my master's, and then I said, you know what? I'm going to look up GW, see what they have to offer, and I applied, and and it went really well. It went, and I took the whole process serious. But once I put my mind to something, I know that I will be successful with it. But graduate school was once again a microcosm of life, and kind of as diverse as the Survivor cast. It wasn't a lot of African American males in the curriculum and instruction master's program at GW, and so maybe about 10 to 15 out of 100. But that was exciting, and that was just a prime example of you put your mind to it, you'll get it done.
So you obviously talk people through like their application, how they're going to be perceived, what they're being looked at.
Yeah.
Let's apply it to you. What do you think you're going to be perceived as out here?
That's a tough one, man, because I think Jeff brought it up, just, prepping us. He was like, my whole team had no doubt about anyone here. It's 100% we believe you should be here. So I could be perceived as a threat, but everybody could be the same as me in a different way. So I don't know. I'm going to be perceived as funny. I'm definitely going to tell some jokes. As a good swimmer, a social threat. I get along with everybody, even those that don't get along with me. So people could find that threatening a bit.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to other people, are you valuing something specific in an alliance member? Are you looking for a ride or die at number one?
I'm definitely looking for a one. I'm looking for somebody different than me. Of course there's going to be people that play like me and we can vibe, but it's like when people get like in the merge and they're like, this is our core six. And I'm waiting for that to happen because I want to know who's that 7 person that's left out.
Yeah.
Because that's my ride or die. That's the one that can, shake things up a bit and we can keep going to the end.
When it comes to that number one, I mean, you mentioned Jesse beforehand. There's been a lot recently about like, do you take that person to the end? Can you have that emotional wherewithal to cut that person? Where do you stand right now? Is that going to be a tough decision to make if it comes to it?
One of the best advice, one of the best things that my wife gave me coming out here was, don't be a wagon. You can't take everybody with you. So Jesse did play a good game, but his timing might not have been the best. You know what I'm saying? And how much I think people get closer to the end and they start sharing too much. So just don't be a wagon. Yes, there's going to be people that follow you. Yes, there's people that you might grow this bond with. But when the timing is right, you will have to sever those ties. But maybe not.
Yeah.
You'll have to take somebody to the end. And if they were a compliment to your game, then it shouldn't be a problem debating who did not have the better game. So, I don't mind cutting ties. It's $1 million on the line. I got to feed my kids.
So you've probably been looking around at these people for the past, however many days. I'm sure you've been making assessments. Give me some thoughts here. Let's start with the good side. Who are you getting good vibes from? Who are you thinking, like, if we wind up on the beach together, best case scenario?
Yeah, anybody who smiled at me more than, 3 times, a good vibe. Anything, some people have, like, left their glasses or, like, or, I don't know, something that's theirs, and I've given it back to them. Like, I've gotten a good vibe just from giving them, reminding them of what that is. I think it's 2 other black guys out here. I'm getting a good vibe from them. We want to I want to be able to represent something bigger than me if we're going to be on national TV. And then other things people are reading. Honestly, Mike, I think that shit is fluff. Like, you're showing your hand.
You're talking about people who are reading books.
Yes, reading books in front of it. I know they say occupy your time, but I know the 5 people who are going to be a beast at puzzles. So either you're going to be on my side or I'm going to make sure, I know who to watch out for.
Yeah.
Because you've been reading puzzles since we left LA. Or people that, in the reading thing is like, bro, if you don't know it by now, you're not going to get it in the next couple of days just because you started reading. I don't read in front of people out here. I read in my silo. I read about emotional intelligence. I read How to Win Friends and Influence People. I keep that information to myself, and
Yeah.
I can execute when I get out there.
Yeah, talk to me about your preparation process. I know in your bio you say you exercise daily, both physically and emotionally. So was
Yeah.
that for this process, or was this something that's just always been part of your day to day?
Emotionally, it's like inherently because I got 2 kids, and so you gotta practice patience with little ones. You gotta really come down to their level, figuratively and physically, and just speak eye to eye. They don't know anything. You gotta teach them how to human in so
Yeah.
many ways. I did my second triathlon April 28th. So
Damn.
yeah, thank you. The triathlon was fun, but that was a good practice of just like pushing your body to the ultimate way to see that you could swim, bike, and run in less than an hour. And I actually ranked top 10 in my age group, 30 to 35. So
Wow.
yeah, it was a good deal.
So let me throw a scenario out to you. Let's say first couple days on the beach,
Yeah.
boat pulls up to camp, guys on it. You know what that means. There's a
Yeah.
note that says pick one person to go on
Oh.
a journey. What's your tactics here? Are you trying to get yourself on that boat? You trying to get someone else on there?
Observe first.
Mm-hmm.
Observe. It's 6 people on the island. Somebody's gonna jump at it or not. Of course I want to go. You know what I'm saying? But if I go, it's really going to depend on the relationships I built right now. Can I come back and feel like I have to lie? Can I come back and tell a convincing story that everybody will believe? And if I don't go, I'm fine with not going. When that person's gone, what seeds am I planting in the tribe so we can either grill this person up or make a decision about them before they even get back?
Yeah, so going back to those advantages that,
Yeah.
record-setting run you hope to make. I mean,
yeah, let's do it.
we know these can be blessings and curses, though. What has made you lean so heavily into the blessing part of it all?
Of the
For advantages in general.
you gotta play like you're going to lose. It's everybody's gonna go home. You know what I'm saying? It's 20 of us, so I can't really pass up opportunities. And watching it, I'm like, damn. Okay, I think you read a challenge and it says you can put this back. And watching, I'm like, oh no, I would give this back, or I would give it to somebody else. But being out here, you're like, I don't know if I want to give up this opportunity. But there does come some pros and cons. But I just think God gave me the opportunity to be out here. If you come across anything, it could be an advantage for you. Except when they say you lose a vote for the next 5 tribals.
But you can work your way out of that, right? I'm sure you got that magic. You got that spice you can sprinkle on it.
There you go, that spice, that charm. And one of the things about the advantages in one of my prep, I was writing my idol, my business, my advantage, my business. You can't tell everybody. You tell that one person, and hopefully it goes well.
Let's talk about decision making
Yeah.
in your life. Do you have like a typical method you use when you have to make an important decision? Do you have a step-by-step process in your head, or are you more like gut-oriented? If it feels good to me, I'll do it.
I'm more gut-oriented. I want to be more gut-oriented out here. I think in my decision process making as a family man, you got to think about how it will affect everyone else. What I don't know. What will my wife think of this? How will she react? Does this affect picking up the boys? What might Carter and Cooper take away from this? Will I get a phone call from my mother? Is this going to affect me being on time to the next meeting? You know what I'm saying? So you got to think about how decisions affect your whole picture. And so even out here, I don't have that much time to think, though.
Yeah.
I got to think about it in like maybe a minute or two and make a decision.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a parent of a 4-year-old, so
nice.
like, I got the whole thing with you of like having patience, talking on their
Yeah.
level. But to your point, like, you got to think about that community.
Yeah.
And that applies not only in the tribal phase of the game, but like with alliances and also thinking about other people that might be enemies as well.
For sure. You have to know what your enemy's even doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Thinking 2 steps ahead of, well, what would my opposition even say? How would they react if I pull this? How would my alliance react if I say, you know what, I'm not going to vote with these guys. I don't agree. I'm going to get Danny out. Something like that. But you have to be able to think about how it's going to affect your tribe and how it's mostly going to affect your game and tribal council that night.
What do you think is your hottest Survivor take? What's your most like controversial opinion? Could be about a player,
Yeah.
season, the show in general.
So, my hottest Survivor take is that, man, Survivor's not a game, man. I mean, it is a game, but it's like, it's totally nothing like you expect. It's nothing that I've seen on TV. Like I watch it, but just the past 5 days being out here, it's mind blowing, and I don't even know. I just think it's gonna be, it's nothing like watching it. It's nothing like watching it. And then for all the people that like have tried to like, oh, you got to do this or you got to do that, but you don't know until you out here. And if I do the numbers right, Mike, only 1,000 people have been on Survivor.
Yeah.
And so the ratio of the people that are doing it and the people that are actually talking about it is slim to none.
It's a big one. It's a big number.
Yeah, exactly.
So let me present another what if to you.
Sure.
You can bring a celebrity or a fictional character out as your loved one for a loved one's visit.
Oh,
who'd you pick and why?
Snap. A celebrity and
or a fictional character.
Oh man. All right, let's go. I'd go somebody from like Stokely Carmichael or Malcolm X, like somebody to motivate me and make me think about, the bigger picture, what I'm doing all of this for, and just ground me in who I am as a black man out there in the jungle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then celebrity, that's a tough one. Celebrity, I'd go President Obama.
So you wrote in here that you introduced him. I'm assuming you meant at an event or like you introduced him to Michelle. I'm trying to know what you meant by that.
That's a good one. No, in high school, freshman year, senior year, I was class president. Senior year, 2014, 2010, President Obama is going into his first term. The White House is looking for a school to host this speech. We had a White House connection at Wakefield and Arlington, and they say, come do it at Wakefield. And so then they go into this process of, well, which student leader is the best to introduce President Obama? Now, by no means was I the top academic student. However, I did have the most influence out of the 5 students that they selected. The White House calls me and they say, Tim, why should you introduce the president? I give them my pitch, what I ran on as a campaign and whatnot. And they say, they call me back and say, we want you to introduce President Obama. So in that senior year, I met President Obama twice, visited the White House once, and he gave me a challenge coin that I brought out here as my emotional item. So I think it, and honestly, bro, and my students get on me for this, I have not written a letter to President Obama since then, or we haven't had any communication, because honestly, I just never felt like I did anything else bigger than that, you know? I was kind of ashamed, but I would definitely invite him back. And
you didn't write that letter because you were just waiting to see him out on the beach.
Exactly. I didn't write that letter because I've been waiting to win Survivor, and then I want to say, this is what I've been doing the last decade.
Well, I was going to say, you were like, I haven't done anything big with my life. You're about to play $1 million game, man.
Yeah. So I think it's a good follow-up.
Yeah, how are you feeling right now? It's been a lot of hurry up and waiting. Are you ready to go, or what's the emotional cocktail right now?
Yeah, media day was tough, bro. I mean, this day's gotten a little easier, but yesterday I was not really in the spirit. But I had to I'm glad I experienced that little downfall, because you're gonna experience these downfalls in the game. And, how do you pick yourself back up? But I'm blessed. I'm definitely excited. I'm eager to play, and I'm eager to observe, engage with everyone else, and I miss my family too. So I just want to make sure I'm out here representing for them.
I'm sure you will, man. This was such a delight, dude.
Thanks,
this was
Mike.
Awesome. It's so good to meet you. You are good to go.
You too, Mike. Thank you, man.
Thank you. This was so awesome.
Thanks, bro.
Enjoy the rest of this and what's to come, man. I'll see you out on the beach.